So anyways, folks, boy, it's been an interesting Asian session here. We had our big move, which we were waiting for, and then it took off and then stopped. Pulled back. We were waiting for the second move here, and it just for shizzled. And then we were saying, well, I expect volatility at 9 o'clock to kick in, like 9:01. Boom, up to the next level, up into here, which was a 786. So I shorted, took a little off of here for shizzle, lost everything. So that's the last few hours, right? So right now we're in fib wars where there's a fib in here for the bulls, but there's a fib in here for the bears in play. So the bears are selling like crazy here, the bulls are buying like crazy here, and you don't really want to be in the middle. So I scalped off the top and took, I don't know, paid for my dinner. And this was the big move. A couple of second chances, but not a whole lot. There was another logical one that didn't pan out. And this is, again, fib wars. The bears were selling here, the bulls were buying there. But notice how important the oscillators always were. Like, none of these are unimportant, really, So, like, let's clear the plate here. If you were a bull, okay, then you don't care about these fibs here because you figure we're going to break them because you're bullish. You don't really have a 3A2 yet, right? So wouldn't you like to have a 3A2? Yeah, you would. And as a kicker, you'd like the 1 minute Stokes. So that's what you're looking for. Okay? So if you can get like this roll reversal area, this is your green zone, okay? You'd like to see something like that. Okay? Now why did I short earlier? Well, one of the things that we discussed was there was a lot of resistance at the top. Not necessarily exactly where we were, but if I was setting up a swing trade, then 50 pips off my top above me provided lots of different levels of resistance, just tons. But I took the money and ran pretty quickly just because it looked like it would hesitate. But so we got into this zone here, okay? 786, I could get out here or I can get here above this stuff. And then above that there was more, and then I waited for this. Actually, I didn't even short until I got the 5-8 cross. And it dropped. Again, it wasn't big pips, but it was quick and easy. Didn't want to sit on it too long because Asia is the type of situation where you can get in a trade and then lose volatility and wait an hour. And now we're kind of ran out of time. Shanghai's open and everything, and not a lot going on. Now, another way of looking at it is this 15-minute chart. And I know it looks redonkulous, but let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, and so on my 1 minute, I scalped between the 786 on the other move. This was the first move in Asia. Okay, so I sold at the 786 and got out at the 5 EMA, like there. Okay, almost 40 to what, 15 or something. I mean, we're not talking huge pips, but it was something when not much was happening. Okay, so all I was saying is like, this provides me a nice stoppage and that provides me a lot of stoppage. And then when you look at some higher time frames even above that, it catches the 5 EMA here and the 5 EMA on the 4 hour and some other, little pieces of resistance here and there. And also the reason to get out, I think there's more than a reasonable chance after a fresh 5-8 cross when we haven't completed a Stokes cycle. There's more than enough reason to think that we're doing this until we get maybe up a little higher. But usually, or mostly I would say, is we just kind of ran out of time, ran out of volatility. So that is like a 5 minute review of our last 3.5 hours of trading. Wow. But we made a few pips anyways. We had some opportunities. The awesome, part of the awesomeness is we talked about in here, we talked about 8 o'clock, the volatility kicking in, and boom, that's 8 o'clock. And then 9 o'clock, we discussed volatility kicking in, and like, boom. I think that's right, isn't it? Let's see, 8, 9, what? That's how I remember it. Maybe it was this one? No. Let's see, wait, I took over at 6. We started trading at 6, right? Oh, so 7, and then 9. Yeah. So, things did work at the right time of day for the right reasons. We knew to be aggressive here. Here was an aggressive time, right? Somewhere in there, right? And then in here. So this is the 9, 1, 8, and then 7 in here. So yeah, top of the hour, which is normal because it's stock market's opening and it's banks opening. Also, we had some Japanese news that what was it? It wasn't supposed to be that big of a deal, and I forget what it was. Japanese blah 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 report, and they were expecting 11%, right? And what it came out like -2 or -0.2 or something, but so a little bit of Japanese strength. We also did analyze the S&P 500 at the beginning, and it looked a little more bearish than bullish. And we talked about that, and then the yen's gained some strength. I think the most interesting thing going on here is just, where we started at the very beginning of the session. In fact, we created this layout together in class today, and we started identifying red zones and green zones on multiple time frame or on multiple currency pairs. Let me update some of these. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, these overlaps have been important. Okay, very, very interesting overlaps. So let me kind of shrinky dink some of these things. Right, so make sure you plot these down. Like, so for Aussie yen, 83, huge support. And then what is this? 84, huge support. I put this on the new blog. That's the Aussie yen. Look at this, guys. Huge overlap. Okay. Huge overlap. Let me get rid of the marker. And what are these overlaps? What are these overlaps that I'm looking at that are creating these red zones and green zones? All right, here's one. Here's the overlap here that we're playing now. I can't quite see them, but they must be in these green zones, like central pivots, like here, central pivots, right? These are pretty close. Look at that. Look at this one. What are they? They're weekly and monthly pivot points overlapping each other. Like, oy vey. So it's very, very interesting stuff that we got going. And sure enough, these levels played out today in Asia. Look at that. Okay. Now we're retesting here. Could be very interesting. The other thing I like to do this time of day is look for daily 5 EMAs and mean reversions into the dailies. But remember, the advice I always give, you don't actually want to touch the daily 5 today, because what you're actually playing is tomorrow's daily 5 EMA. I know it sounds confusing, but that's how it is. I don't know what more I can tell you. It's just the facts of life. You take the good, you take the bad, and there you have the FX of life.